So black. I'm thinking of my parents who are watching now.
Sabalenka panics after Alexa receives enormous surprise honor. Something inside the world of women's tennis just collapsed.
A.
Alexandra Eala, the rising underdog. He gets a surprising accolade that sends shockwaves through the hierarchy. Moreover, at the absolute top, Aryna Sabalenka doesn't. Mask her anxiety. No one anticipated it. However, when Eala's name appeared and the cheers rang, the hush from Sabalenka was louder than any applause. Before the world ever heard her name, Alexandra Eala strolled through the halls of tennis mice as the calm one, the young lady, carrying a backpack that was too large for her shoulders and ambitions even larger than that. She didn't say much. She didn't brag. She kept her desire a secret from others to change the sport, but people who watched her hit the ball knowing she wasn't typical talent. She was something else. Coaches murmured, players observed, competitors took notes, but none of them that she will eventually enter the blazing so swiftly that even great players, even an individual such as Aryna Sabalenka would, felt the ground shift under their feet. The 2025 season didn't start with Eala's fireworks. It started with practice sessions, late nights, and grinding. No one recorded deeper losses than fans were aware of, as well as instances where she almost questioned if she was built for this phase. Nevertheless, each time when she left the court, she carried herself like someone who believed her. A breakthrough was on the horizon. Next, abruptly it did. The upset came first. Victories, games where pundits blinked again at the scoreline. Then came the tournament runs that made fans lean forward, rewind highlights, and inquire, who is this girl? But what? It wasn't simply her that made Eala unique.
Game.
It was the aura she carried.
She
Didn't aim to be theatrical.
She didn't
Chase attention. And because of that, attention chased her. This is where the tension began. Because every age of, there are quiet disruptors in women's tennis. Players who come out of nowhere and create the giant's unease without expressing it. A term. Additionally, Alexandra Eala was
turning into precisely that.
as she kept winning as her name rose in the ranks. And headlines, the best players began noticing, especially Sabalenka, fiery, strong, powerful, and sentimental Sabalenka. They had spent years fighting for the top place and wasn't prepared to disclose the stage with someone as surprising as
Eala.
However, no one could foresee what was about to happen next. Due to Eala's ascension was one thing, but the honor she would shortly get, that was something that no one anticipated. Not admirers, not journalists, not even herself. Moreover, particularly not Sabalenka, who claims. Two insiders moved from confused to rattled to anything dangerously close to panic. However, before we arrive, before the shock and the consequences, we must comprehend the significance of this award. So much, and the reason it turned into the spark that sparked one of the most surprising conflicts in the history of tennis recently.
Because when
Eala took the stage to accept, she wasn't merely taking a trophy. She was walking into a political tempest, a rivalry she didn't ask for, and a powerful enough lighting to cause blindness even the strongest champion. And somewhere in, Sabalenka observed it in the backdrop. Nevertheless, recognizing the sports she considered. Suddenly, she lost control from her fingers. This was merely the starting. The day started like any other tournament. Media, practice, courts, players warming up, fans locating
seats.
But something odd drifted via the atmosphere, the type of strain that doesn't create noise, but nonetheless makes everyone turn their heads. The announcement was slated for noon. Nobody knew what it was. The sent email to players merely said, "A special." Recognition will be awarded today.
No.
Name, no category, no suggestion. Individuals. Assumed it would go to a veteran, maybe. To a former winner, perhaps someone. Retiring, but not a newcomer, not a teenager, but someone who wasn't even sat in most events a year ago. However, when the ceremony screen flashed and the spotlight switched to one name, the entire tennis globe ceased breathing. The recipient of the International Rising Legacy Honor is Alexandra Eala. Gasps, the room froze. Reporters, astonished expressions and whispering, typing frantically, and then the camera cut straight to Sabalenka. Her reaction, a brief, hardly noticeable micro-expression. Seen, but it stated everything.
Her jaw.
Her brows quirked, her body stiffened, her arms crossed. This was not what she had anticipated. She wasn't prepared for this. She wasn't delighted with this, because this wasn't only an award. This was symbolism, a statement, a proclamation that the sport was prepared for a new star. One that didn't originate from the typical tennis dynasties. One who wasn't molded in the
System.
one whose rise stemmed from pure grit and international pride. A player who posed a challenge to the hierarchy itself that Sabalenka perched atop, while Eala strolled up the stage, her steps hesitant and cautious. Her eyes were filled with a mixture of shock and humility. Cheers broke out from the audience. Real, emotional, thunderous cheers. Commentators mumbled things like, "She's so young. This is astonishing. Some people's egos will be shaken by this." But Eala held her composure. She accepted the plaque. She expressed gratitude to her family.
She
Gave credit to her team, her country, her supporters. But the moment that set, next was social media on fire.
A.
She was asked by a reporter, "How does it feel to be detected at such a young age?" Eala gave a small smile. She took a breath. And then she said the line that became the headline of the day. "I didn't expect that, but maybe the sport is changing." Those were powerful words, modifying into what was being replaced and by whom. It didn't matter that Eala meant it innocently. The world was silent. Innocence. The world heard provocation. And Sabalenka heard a warning. Within minutes, fan accounts were sharing side-by-side photographs of Eala's grin and Sabalenka's action.
Threads.
Ignited. Debates exploded.
Was Sabalenka
Unconfident? Was Eala being lifted too
quick?
Was this honor deserved? The stage was in place. The strain was real. And what followed made it a full-blown storm? If honors serve as the catalyst, social media is the gasoline. The instant Eala won the prize, hashtags began. Popular all throughout the world. Clips of the ritual spilled throughout every nook of TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. A few. Some questioned it, while others rejoiced. Others transformed it into a full-blown conflict of fandoms. However, the loudest sound was from the reactions surrounding Sri Lanka. Someone slowed down the video of Sabalenka's face. Dramatic music was added by someone else. Next, another account included captions such as, "Sabalenka is in a panic. She didn't expect this. Eala just shook the queen." The story almost wrote itself. Even commentators joined the frenzy, arguing whether Sabalenka felt threatened or simply bewildered. A former player tweeted, "Top athletes don't like surprises, particularly when new stars are raised too fast." That tweet alone accumulated thousands of retweets and fueled much more conjecture. Meanwhile, Eala made an effort to remain composed. She shared one message, appreciative, humbled, motivated, and even that simple. Some fans disagreed with the statement, remarked, "She deserves this future superstar. This is history. Let her shine." Others argued back. Honor based. On what? She's being pushed too soon. This is politics, not tennis.
And in
The middle of all this ruckus was Aya, a teenager who never sought for a prize, never pursued controversy, and never expected her rise to cause ripple strong enough to hit championship players.
but
The fact is straightforward. When a new star rises, the established ones feel the heat, especially when that burgeoning star is adored not just for her tennis skills, but because of everything she stands for: youth, hope, variety, a departure from conventional tennis molds. As social media erupted, the tennis world began selecting sides. According to several commentators, this prize imposed excessive pressure on Aya. Others thought it was significant, a sign the sport was spreading, embracing,
changing.
Afterwards, someone shared a screenshot of Sabalenka's fondness during the time, promptly unliking a mysterious post that remarked, "Not all honors are earned."
It
Was unable to confirm what transpired. However, that was irrelevant. The harm was completed. Fans took screenshots of it, circulated, stories were created, and people now believe Sabalenka wasn't simply irritated. She was panicking. Maybe it wasn't true. Maybe it was overstated. Maybe it was totally misconstrued. But perception turns into reality, particularly in the world of sports. What started as Aya's jubilation turned into a discussion of merit, partiality, power shifts, and insecurity. Was no longer merely an honor. This was a emblem of transformation, which is constantly uncomfortable, particularly for people at the top. When tension approaches a boiling point, the first person to speak is always. At her subsequent press conference, it was Sabalenka. Conference, reporters ringed her like sharks, waiting for a quote, a reaction, everything they could convert into a
headline.
Sabalenka walked in with her typical assurance, but her eyes showed. She was well aware of what the world had been like. Speaking of her, a reporter opened the session with the query that everyone wanted to ask: "What do you think of Alexa Eala receiving the honor of the International Rising Legacy?" Sabalenka halted. Too long, just long. Sufficient to sense the silence. Dangerous. Then she faked a smile. The sort that tries to hide truth but fails. "It's startling. I didn't expect that. But good for her." On paper it looked harmless. But her tone, her reluctance, her clenched jaw spoke a different article. Another reporter followed up, asking, "Do you believe the prize was merited?" She didn't smile this time. "I believe honors need to reflect accomplishments. That's all I'll say." The impact of those statements was greater than any yelling, harsher than any insult, harder than any tweet. Within minutes, headlines exploded. Sabalenka throws shadow during Eala's award. Sabalenka doubts Eala's acknowledgement. Sabalenka honors ought to be commensurate with accomplishments. Narrative was now officially out of her
control.
Fans defending Sabalenka argued. Fans, she was just being truthful. Eala's defense accused Sabalenka of being intimidated, according to analysts, was the initial fissure in the defense of tennis's emotional force. Meanwhile, Eala stayed mute, although sometimes quiet speaks louder than words. She did not respond with a clap.
Take sides.
She didn't fire back in interviews. She simply trained, concentrated, ready for her upcoming game. And that sparked additional conjecture.
She's also